So I had a conversation with God today, and I asked God to show me how good life can get. I had a conversation with God, and within my conversation, I said, "You know what, God? I surrender everything to you. I surrender everything to you. Like, I don't want control. You got it." So I asked God to show me how good that life can get. I said, "You know what? I don't have the control anymore. It's in your hands. All I can do is be intentional. All I can do is be intentional and keep my word to the plan, keep my word to myself, and do what I'm supposed to do to elevate. But everything else, it's in God's hands." And I asked God to show me how good life can get. Just show me how good life can get. And within God showing me, I said, "I am submitting myself to you. I don't want control over any of it. All I'm going to do is trust you while I am being intentional and watch how good life can get." Because that's what I want out of life. I want to see how good life can get. And this year, life has been really good. But a lot of it could have been even better if I let go of control. And I didn't even realize how controlling that I was until I was at risk. And when I say at risk, I mean at risk of possibly losing something or someone. Within that at risk, I would be like, okay, I'm going to lean forward. I'm going to do the most. Where are you going? What is going on? So when things were at risk, I would watch myself and see myself and notice myself getting more anxious, getting more unsettled. And I think that's part of the reason why God was taking things away, because I think that God is like, if you trust me the way that you say that you trust me, if I take this away, you should still have the same amount of trust in me when I gave it to you. So I'm in this space of letting go of control. And within me letting go of control, not being so anxious, not being so worried, and just completely letting go. So that's what I've been doing. And in the midst, again, like I told you, I had a conversation with God and I said, "God, just show me how good life can get. Just show me how beautiful life can get as I release this wanting to control." And the more that I speak about it, the more that I ask myself, do you really trust God? The more that I reflect, the more that I reflected within me being wanting to be in control, as much as I thought that I trusted God, the answer was no. The answer was no, because why was I so anxious at risk? I guess it is okay to be a little anxious, but I was really anxious. Like, yeah. So again, I had a conversation with God, and within the conversation, I said, "God, just show me how good life can get. I'm submitting everything to you. Like, do what you please. All I can do is be intentional, continue to do my part, and trust myself more." Because here's the thing that I've learned and noticed about myself. I do my best to always do my best. There's a book called The Four Agreements, and one of the agreements is always do your best. And I always do my best. And when things don't go as planned, the reason why I don't go so crazy and like pop off is because I know that I did my best. Even if it didn't work out and it's hurtful, I know that I did my best. So a lot of times, like most times, I don't necessarily move with regrets. A lot of times in my life, what I do think that I could do better on is not moving with such anxiousness because I want to be in control of a situation, when all I can do is be intentional, do my part, and trust myself and do my best. And then God does the rest. God does the rest. So, yeah, that's something that I'm learning, something that I did talk to God about, because it is very important. It's very important because a lot of things that we try to control, it's not even in our control. And a lot of things that makes us anxious or the risk has nothing to even do with us. Like the risk doesn't have anything to do with us. Like if a person wants to walk away or do their own thing, or if I want to walk away and do my own thing, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't even have anything to do with them. A lot of times it has a lot to do with me. Is this honoring my blooming space? Is this honoring God? Is this honoring the respect I have for myself? So when I let go of control and when I do my best to do my best, then I have no regrets. But in this phase, in this era of my life, the holding on, I do a lot of holding on because I don't want anybody to feel like I don't got them. Like I do a lot of holding on because I know how it feels for somebody not to have me. So that's why I hold on so strong. I hold on so strong. And in this space, in this era, I'm truly learning the art of letting go, because if it's truly, especially if I've done my part, if I've been intentional and things like that, if I've done my part and it doesn't work out, instead of me holding on so strong because I want to show that, yo, like we can go through the storm, like I got you. But I should only be holding on like that with God. I should only be thugging it out like that with God. And then the people that truly show me like, you thugging it for me, I'm thugging it for you too. So again, I said all that to say, I'm circling back to the point where I told God, please show me how good life can get. Because I'm submitting myself and allowing you to have such a hand in my life, as to where before it was God's hand and then my hand. And then my hand was doing all this, and God wanted to come in and just like, God, I see your hand, but see, God, you be wanting me to wait a little bit longer and take me through the learning process. And it's just like, it was parts of me that's like, I want this here, I want this here, I want this here, to where I was just like, yeah, God, I cannot. I cannot. And the crazy thing about it is, within my hand here, everything was still so beautiful and still so amazing. But it's never been to the point where it's like, it's so amazing, but it can be like outstanding. It can be like unexplainable. It can be a miracle. It was amazing. My hand, because I was still talking to God, praying to God, I just didn't allow God's hand. I didn't allow God's hand. I didn't allow God's hands. I maybe allowed, because sometimes we can block God. I maybe allowed like 3 fingers. I maybe allowed 3 fingers. Sometimes even the hand, but the hands. Can you imagine God's hands working all through your life to where things can be more than amazing? They can be miracles. They can be unexplainable. They can happen out of nowhere, to where when you allow God's hands in your life and that happens, and then a miracle happens, and then when you tell your story, you just like, I allowed God's hands all over me, all over my life, to where all I can say is, that is nothing but God. That is God. Like I can explain the amazingness. I can explain a lot of things, and then a lot of things, some things you can't explain because God has both of his hands, and that's where the miracles come about. That's where miracles come about. It's like, how did you blossom thus far? How did you blow up in this area? How did you prosper the way that you prospered? And it's just like, not only did I allow God's 3 fingers or God's hand, I allowed God's hands to where the things that I was doing was amazing. It was beautiful. But then when you surrender to God and say, God, you can have control, and God puts his hands all through your life to where your life is good, life is beautiful, life is great. But when you allow God, God can be like, your life is beautiful, your life is great, but let me put my hands all over and through your life so I can show you how good it can get, to where this is miracles. This is something that you might not even be able to explain, because all you can say is, I allow God's hands all in my life. I let go of control and I just allowed God's hands all in my life. Like, just so within my conversation with God, let me show y'all. I have been one of my ways of prayer and talking to God is I've been sending, that's like my email, my whatever, but I have been sending God voice memos. And this morning, this voice memo was 9, 10, 11, 12, about 14 minutes. Yesterday, it was 11 seconds. And this is one of the ways, like, this is one of the ways that I like talk to God and things like that, because I'm not a big journaler, because my mind kind of just moves kind of swiftly, and then when I be writing, and she's like, oh, I forgot that. But that's one of the ways that I talk to God, is through, like, I be sending voice memos, like, hey, like, I'm talking to God, and then I'll pray and things like that. But that's one of the things that I do. And I used to write letters to God, and I still do, but I kind of like the voice memo, because it feels like I'm sending you. Yeah, but anyways, I was about to start rambling, but my point in saying all of this is, allow God's hands all over and through your life so you can truly see how good life can get. So good to the point where when you explain it, it sounds, and it is, even more piercing than amazing, than great, than beautiful. It's like new words made up that's beyond that you probably haven't even heard of. But all I can think of is it's going to sound like a miracle when you just allow God. But you continue to be intentional. Continue to respect yourself. Continue to honor yourself. Continue to just do the best that you can and always do your best. Always do your best. Sometimes, like within me always doing my best, within my life, within me always doing my best, I still messed up within me doing my best. Whether it be me not thinking clearly, whether it be me not communicating things the best. But at the time, that was my best because I probably didn't have the more clear communication or more of a better thought process to explain things. But within that, I always did my best with what I had and what I knew. And now, I want to see how good life can get. I want to see how good blossoming can get. I want to see how far that I can bloom. And I don't know who this video will reach. I just told myself today I'm uploading a video. I never know what I'm going to talk about. I never know. But when you just allow God's hand, when you just allow God's hands all over your space, all in your blooming space, all in your world, then things just flow and touch in a different type of way because you have a miracle worker that's here, you know? But that's all I want to say to y'all. I pray and hope that y'all continue to blossom, continue to be intentional, continue to work on yourself, and please know your life can be so beautiful. Just keep being intentional about your dreams. Keep being intentional about you, love and respect you, and allow God. And don't just allow God, allow God's hands all in your space, all over your life. Allow God. So that's all I want to say to y'all. If you haven't noticed, I'm a rambler. And I always think to myself, because I'm like, I did like speeches and speaking. And then I'm like, I'm such a low-key rambler. Like nobody really knows how much I can talk and ramble. But in this space right here, the rambling seems calmer because I'm allowing God's hands. But that's all I'm going to say. I feel like I've said that so many times. That's all I'm going to say. Keep blossoming. Love on yourself. And ask God, pray the prayer, ask God, be like, God, just show me how good life can get. I trust you. Show me how good life can get. God, show me how good the blessings can get. Just show me, God. Show me you. And again, I've prayed that prayer. And I've asked that question. My life has been beautiful. But because, like, I was like, God, just let me, you can come later. Instead of me just saying, okay, God, like, just do your thing. And if you pray that prayer and ask God that while God has his hands all through and throughout your life, I can't wait to update y'all. Because the trust that I have for God in this era, I can't wait to update y'all. So that's all I want to say. From my heart deep within, blossom bloom with the pen. That's what I say when I be writing my poetry, but it's true. From my heart deep within, blossom bloom with the pen. Because even though it's not written on paper, it's written within my heart. So that's all I want to say. Thank y'all for watching, and blossom out here.